Welcome to We Know Marketing, We Promise, a podcast where strategy meets conversation. We're Naoma and Kelsey, two agency owners who live and breathe branding and marketing. We're here to share real stories, smart strategies, and fresh ideas to help you build a brand that actually works. So grab a seat and your favorite drink and let's dive in.
Well, hi, everybody. We're going to talk today about the perfect week exercise. And this is something that Kelsey and I have been talking about, honestly, for the last 3 weeks. Because every time she brings up a problem, I'm like, well, it's probably because you haven't done your perfect week exercise
With the whole team.
And this is something that we did last year, and it's really helped our team structure, not just the structure, but also the feasibility of what we can actually accomplish, what we can say yes to, what we can say no to, etc. So first, let's talk about what the perfect week is versus what your perfect life, like that what is it? That prompt that people are like, if you were to dream up your perfect life, what would it look like? That's not this exercise.
No, it's more about, I think, working with your energy levels and your personality and how you work versus creating this like perfect scenario that you're going to be disciplined and have this habit of doing every single week. I think it's more of curating a way to be more productive, efficient. That's where I've found like we end up spinning our wheels working hours and hours extra that's so unnecessary. If we would have time blocked better, we'd been in a different place. But we have not done the perfect week exercise, so I'm going to be learning a lot from you on this podcast. But I think we've tried it. We've just never read like the book or whatever you're talking about, this like named perfect week.
Yeah, it was in a book. I did it in one of the gajillion courses that I purchased. So it's the ROI is here.
Yeah, you're right.
But we did this last year. So we did this last December as a team, and it really helped to structure our weeks for day-to-day life. And knowing that this was more of a like flexible framework, not so much a rigid system. So one is what you have to do, and we did this in a Google sheet instead, and because somehow I love Google Sheets. But we did this in a Google sheet, and we wrote down all the things that each role needs to do. Like, what do they need to do every single week to get their job done? So for me, it was definitely check emails, client calls, client meetings, sales calls, reviewing things, and then giving some time into how we were going to structure the week and my energy, because I am not an AM person. A lot of people work really great in the morning. I don't. I like to take my mornings a little bit slower, and then I really kind of get juices going around 11 a.m. So knowing that about myself,
you're doing this as a team. So everyone on your team was aware of the things that are on your task list, and they're also learning that you're not an AM person. So you guys are doing this as a group and you're focusing on one person at a time. Is that how it works?
Each person did their own perfect week.
And then you share them together
and then we created a Nuevo perfect week.
Gotcha.
For like Nuevo Studio. So knowing where my energy is, where Brenda's energy is, and at the time our project manager, where her energy level was. So what were things that we could get done so that we could all work better together? So one thing that Brenda and I have in common is we work better a little bit later. She has better energy in the middle of the week, and I have better energy on the cap ends of the week. So big thinking, big problem solving, it's better for me on a Monday or Friday. In the middle of the week, I feel kind of like drained and dragged on. And so those are the days that I'm like, oh, I can take meetings. I can do strategy sessions. I need to be not sitting at my desk, because if I'm sitting at my desk, I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah. And you're not being productive. That's what I find is I end up looking at my to-do list, just staring at it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not able to like actually execute on anything.
Move the needle. Yeah.
But on a Monday or Friday, I think I'm probably pretty similar to you in that way.
Yeah. I think one thing that really helped me is I was seeing how much of my time would get sucked into emails. So emails, I only would check twice a week, twice a day, twice a week. I wish twice a day.
You would never get caught up.
I mean, I'm still not caught up, and I'm still checking them twice a day.
You do? You only check it twice a day, even right now?
I try to, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is that like a morning and then a end of the day thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason is, and I heard this quote, but when you have your inbox open, like if you have the tab open on your web browser, that's the same as having your office door open for anybody to come in and talk to you.
That's a good visual.
So when you're trying to do deep work done, you don't want your office door open where anybody could come and distract you. So,
well, and for me, it's ClickUp notifications, it's Slack, it's email, it's my phone with text messages. Like access that people have to me is insane.
So when we did this, I turned off all notifications. I have no notifications of email. I do have of Slack, but only of 2 Slack channels, ours and then Nuevo's. But the other ones that I'm part of, like AMA and stuff like that, those don't have notifications on my phone. I get no pings if something on Instagram happened, if something on LinkedIn happened, none of that, because that's just a way to be distracted. So that has been a big help. And I also turn off all notifications on ClickUp because that was just getting crazy. I'm like, I'll look at ClickUp and I'll do stuff, and I'm not going to let that control my life. I control it.
Do you time block to do hours in ClickUp for approvals and then hours in building out a strategy for a client? Or
so we have it set up to where we realize that Naoma will be the bottleneck in reviewing, right? So I have to review things twice a day. I have to review things as soon as I come into the office and before I leave, so that the next day, like as Brenda works throughout the time,
you're not the bottleneck then.
Yeah. And I'm not always great at it, but it's there implemented. And like I said, in the middle of the week, it's a little bit harder because that's when I'm usually stacked in meetings, and that's the way I like it. But I will say I have 3. One of the rules is that you have to have 6 hours blocked for MIT, which is the most important thing. So whatever that is, block it. So I have, that's what my Monday afternoons are and my Friday mornings are. I have those typically blocked for most important thing that I need to get across the finish line. That's my time to get it done. And I don't open ClickUp. I don't open my email. I kind of know what I know what those things are that I need to get done. But when we did this, it really helped us to understand, Brenda doesn't, because when you do so much creative work and it's like either high level creative work or minutia, right? Like building business cards and social media graphics and those kinds of things are more easy thinking design pieces as opposed to building a visual identity, right? That takes hours, that takes mood boarding, that takes getting in the zone and getting in the flow. And so we started to learn how much energy each of the kind of creative task would take. And we knew, okay, Brenda likes to go work out in the morning. And then when she comes in, she doesn't want to do heavy thinking. She wants to kind of like get through and do some quick stuff. And so we would typically stack her with all the little small things so that she could feel very productive at the very start of the week, and then kind of give her some space in the middle of the week to do more of that deep brainstorming, deep mood boarding, deep concept development. That does not take 30 minutes. It takes hours.
Right. So how did you find out? Like what questions are you asking each other, and like how are you building out the perfect week? Like
you kind of know that about yourself, right? So if I were to tell you, Kelsey, when do you feel the best to do deep work in the day?
At like 5 a.m.
Okay. 5 a.m. So 5 to 9, right? Let's say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. When are you done, drained, done? I can't do anything else.
3 p.m.
3 p.m. Okay. So from 5 to 9, you should not open your email. You should not be reviewing anything.
The hard part is I have a personal life. I have to.
Yeah. That's the hard part, right?
Right. Like at 5 a.m, that's when I'm most productive, but I also can't usually start working until 8:30 after school drop off.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes it challenging.
Yeah. So you know that. So then you could block off the mornings and saying, hey, I actually kind of take my morning slower because I'm doing drop off. I'm doing this. I may wake up early, but what can I do? What makes me feel good and energized by the time I do drop off that I can continue that momentum from 5 o'clock in the morning? Or is it that it's 5 a.m. or is it that nobody's talking to you?
Yeah, I think that's probably more of it. And I think, yeah, it's funny because our team right now is in the midst of really trying, like you can feel we're wrestling with this tension of trying to figure out what the perfect work week looks like for the Stevie team.
Mm-hmm.
And we've blocked off Wednesdays. Every Wednesday is a head down day where like limit, like a scheduled message goes out in Slack. Please limit your DMs today. This is a day for us to like do head down work unless something's urgent. Like try to not communicate with the team a lot unless it's in ClickUp. Like you can comment all you want because they can check that when they want to. And so I've felt even just adding that structure has helped a lot. And then I also have told the team, because I'm not going to operate out of that type of urgency, that yeah, we need to be checking Slack and ClickUp, but that does not need to be consuming your entire day, because you can sit at your desk for 8 hours a day and do ClickUp
and do nothing.
Slack and actually get nothing done.
Yeah.
Or you get all the small things done, but like the big, most important things are getting left out. And then
So one thing that I've had to train myself to do, and I've trained some of my team, is every Monday morning we have our team meeting, right? And typically we used to run through the list of everything that was going on. I've kind of minimized that now to say these are the 3 important things on the list. So this client, this project, this part of the phase of this project, we need to finish those 3 things. That's the most important thing. Who has questions? What do you need from me right now that I'm here so that you can do that? And then that helps everybody know, okay, these are the 3 priorities of the week. And because you can get consumed by ClickUp and the review and this and whatnot. So, but keeping in mind what
mine's like, we need to have 45 posts go out with 0 errors. Go. What do you need from me?
But
I can't limit it to like, and I know my 3 things, like I have to finish this strategy by Friday. Like I've, worked on it for this many hours the last 3 weeks, split that up. And so this week is my like, get it across the finish line. So I need my most important time to be dedicated to that on Wednesday. So I need everyone to make sure to give me that space. But
that's the team giving you that space.
Exactly. That's me. That's just me and that's my position. So when I'm thinking about like they're trying to get everything through the pipeline. They're trying to get 45 posts through the pipeline throughout that entire week. So, I mean, not that exact week.
Yeah. So one thing that may help with that is, like I said, Brenda and I have slightly different flows of like when we can do, like I like to do mine on the ends of the week and she works in the middle. So one thing that worked out nicely. So what happens is when I know that she's more in her creative flow and she doesn't need me and she doesn't need me pestering her, that's when I stack up with meetings because she doesn't need me. So I'm like, oh, you don't need me? I'm going to go. So that may be if you're like, I need Wednesdays and they're still trying to get stuff done.
Or maybe they all need Wednesdays and they need me to leave them alone on Wednesdays. And that can be a day that I stack my
But that could also be like, if that's your day, then you can tell them, you know what, Wednesday is my head down day. So that means that's everybody's video shoot day. You have to go be on video shoots.
Right. It really doesn't make sense for everyone to have the same head down day, honestly, because then nothing's getting done.
No.
In the other areas.
It's all about knowing who needs what at what time and how you can build a week around it, not a week around you.
Right. I mean, and I think we've just put basic structures in place. And I think a lot of people are probably doing this because you feel the burnout. You're not really in your zone of genius. You don't feel like you're accomplishing anything and you kind of start to lack purpose because you are doing all the menial things, but you're not getting to do like the high level work that you want to be doing.
Yeah.
And so I think that you come to this place as a business owner or whatever, where you're like, I have to change something about how I'm managing my time. But it does make sense. Like we do our team meeting on Monday and we do internal meetings on Mondays. Tuesdays and Thursdays are for shoots. Wednesday and Friday are head down days. Friday is kind of like the fire day. Like if we have fires throughout the week, we can put them out on Friday or throw a meeting on my calendar that's more urgent that I wasn't able to get to because I was traveling, whatever. But if it's structured like that for everyone, then I do think that we're limited on how efficient we can be.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, Brenda's getting all this stuff done on Wednesday when you're knocking out meetings. You guys are like double.
We just like flip.
Exactly. But the business is like producing so much more with that type of a model rather than like how we have ours structured out right now. So
because also they may not want a full head down day. They may need afternoon head down days or morning head down or something along those lines. They may not need a whole day. You probably do, but they may not need a full day.
Well, they were asking for it before I was. I do my head down work in times that people aren't bothering me.
Yeah.
So I usually am not able, but that's not healthy either. Like I'm not able to do my most important work unless it's on a weekend at nighttime after I put my daughter down,
at 5 o'clock
or
in the
at 5 in the morning,
which is not normal.
No. So
Yeah.
that's not working, but that has given me space to not feel like I need to be on for them on Wednesdays. It's like, oh, I can breathe a little bit and schedule meetings or do the strategy work that I need to get done.
So I also know like Brenda works better later. She doesn't work in the mornings. She likes to go do her workout. She's a little bit like me, likes to take a little bit of a slower morning start. But so then I know, oh, mornings are when I can kind of put in some meetings because I'm not going to have somebody waiting on me in Slack about something. So because I feel like it's always when the bottleneck happens is when people are waiting on you, right? I mean, that's for me too. So how can you still be present to not be so much of a bottleneck? You're still going to be a bottleneck, but how can you not be so much of a bottleneck? And I think that's understanding your flow of when you do great work. I'm also thinking like a full head down day like that. You really like the human brain can really only concentrate on something for like 3 to 4 hours. So probably that full head down day is really only getting capitalized for half of that day.
Yeah.
So I would do the opposite if I were you. I would think through the team. I would say, hey, Wednesday morning we're going to have a check-in like all together, and then we're going to have head down day until 2 p.m. and then I'm around for however you want to structure that. But I do think that having a full day is not great for them, though they may think that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And
Now,
I can see kind of the holes in what we're currently doing. And obviously this method is so much better because you're actually examining the person and their genetic makeup, how they operate best, and
also what they want to do. Like I know Brenda loves to go have her workout classes in the morning.
Yeah.
Or she likes to, I think she leaves early on Thursday afternoon because she has tennis practice. I'm like, go do your life.
Yeah.
As long as you're getting the work done, I don't care.
Yeah. And for me, it's like they usually right after school pickup, I really would like to be off and they need me a lot during that time. So it's like, how do we structure that to where I'm able to give them the approvals they need from 2:30 to 3:30, and then I can go do school pickup and not have to be on after. Because I can do some approvals and stuff, but you're not getting my best after 3:30 because I am up at 5 o'clock every day.
Yeah, you're drained by then.
Yeah.
So I think that's just the team understanding when you are actually at your best and work. Because the reason we did this was because I would come in and I'd give feedback, and then they would do the feedback, and then I'd come back and I'm like, why didn't we change that? Why didn't we fix that? And she was like, you didn't say it in the first round. And it's because I was getting sloppy and not really being able to focus and really think through what is this working? How is this working? Does this need to be there? Instead, I'm just like looking for quick typos or quick alignment issues and not really looking at the design holistically. And so I was like, okay. And I am not good at that first thing in the morning either. That's one thing that I noticed. It's like, actually, I hate coming in and going straight into this. Like, for me, that's a very draining work. I have to do it, but it's draining. Just like checking my emails is very draining. But writing strategy, creating content, that kind of thing is not draining to me. So working on mood boarding, that's not draining to me. So
Client meetings,
it depends, right? So if it's like check-ins, I'm like, this is a little draining. If it's a new strategy session,
it's more
different.
Fun. Yeah.
But I will say what I've done in my Calendly is I've set parameters. So you can book like strategy sessions with me, but I only allow it to book 2 a week because I can't do more than that.
Yeah.
If we're doing a full-on new client strategy, I can only do, because those are 2-hour sessions, I can only do 1 of those a week. And then it cancels out the other like it knows that I can't do too many of these types of things.
That makes sense.
But the key is to do it for yourself and understand everything that's on your plate and understand what is on everybody else's plate.
So that's how you start, is you write down like everything that you need to get done in a day, in a week?
In a week. No, it's like my whole like job description. What is Naoma in charge of? What is Naoma CEO in charge of? What is Naoma creative director in charge of? What is Naoma brand strategist in charge of? These are my these are my duties that nobody else can do on the team. So how do I plug them into my calendar? When do I feel the best to do this type of work? For me, it's a little bit more complicated because I have different hats, right?
Right. So then, like if we were to do this with the Stevie team, would we load this into a Google Calendar where it's like we would be able to pull up, or would it be our personal calendars? And then like I can pull up Haley's and Abby's and like I can view.
So what we did is we first did it all in a Google sheet, right?
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, Naoma has to, go do pick up or drop off or whatever these times. And I would just put, family, I'm out. Then I would put in my 6 hours of MIT time and I would block those.
You have 6 hours a week or?
A week of MIT.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have 2-3 hour sessions of.
And everyone does the same thing where they block, like if they have family stuff or they like to work out in the morning,
everybody
personal time
on their own sheet.
And then they also have they would also have their own MIT. Like Brenda has her own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody has their own because we all have different flows. Right.
Okay.
And then what we did is we went and did it all by ourselves. I was like, go to a coffee shop, go to a wine bar, whatever you want to do, wherever you feel like you can do this kind of harder work, and think through be honest with yourself. You are building your week. How do you want your week at work to look like and in life? Right. Especially if you're a business owner, you're probably adding in the life, like the pickup, the drop off, the gym thing, the I like book club, whatever. Right.
Right.
So I would add those in because then you start to see, oh, I'm doing a lot more of this, or you start to see what you gravitate towards. And then what we did is after all of us did it, we came together over a meeting and we shared and we said, this is Naoma. This is what Naoma loves to do. Peely, this is what Peely loves to do. Brenda, this is what Brenda loves to do. And then we looked at all 3 and we were like, okay, how can we create a flexible model that is the Nuevo calendar? So we know Naoma's MIT is Friday mornings and Monday afternoons. And we know that Naoma is going to try to check revisions right after lunch and right before she leaves for work. We know that she's probably going to check email these times of day, so that they know Naoma likes to have meetings these days and these days and these days. Brenda likes to do deep work these days and not deep work on these days, so that when we're project managing or we're having to do things, I know to not give Brenda small stuff to do when she is in deep, when it's her MIT or it's her deep focus.
And then you just
and then
practice it.
Well, no, then we do create a Google Calendar. That's the Nuevo calendar. And we say Brenda MIT, Naoma MIT, Brenda focus, Brenda low energy. We just have it kind of like that as shorthand so that we know.
Yeah, I'm like, it would be so hard to keep up with everyone's.
No, we have one calendar.
Right.
Yeah.
So it would have to be on one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not going to go look at a spreadsheet every week and try to figure out
No. We do the spreadsheet so that you can move it around,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
And it's just like a sketch pad. And then you put it into a Google Calendar that the whole team has access to.
Yeah.
But things don't go on that calendar, just so that you know when is Haley's deep work day. Oh, it's Wednesdays in the morning. Okay, that's when I'm going to tell her to work on this strategy.
Yeah.
This would actually probably be way better for Abby as your project manager
know.
She would love it.
To
know when things are better
and my EA, like when she's scheduling with my calendar. And yeah, that's great. How long did it take?
We each did our, like, it took me probably an hour and a half to do mine. And then we had a 30-minute conversation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we also know, like, this is ideal. It's not always going to be like this, but there's a good framework at least that we can come back to.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's hard when I'm just thinking of like all the different contractors, and like we have people doing different things, but we need to know when because they're doing daily work for us. So we would need to know when they're available and not. And we have obviously like a general idea of like the hours we have with them, but if they would even have a perfect week within that.
I think if they're a contractor that you work with quite a bit, I think that's a smart move.
I do too.
It just makes it so much easier. And then people are doing the best work when they're at their best performance, like when they can produce the best work.
Yeah. Where have you seen this go sideways?
Oh, I mean, when you get...
Like, what are the negatives?
The negative, we haven't really fully encountered a negative because we all came into it as saying, this is not always going to be the case. This is what we're trying to stick to. Like, if you stepped out of bounds here, it's okay. But ideally, like, this is what we try to come back to.
And would you communicate that if like things were getting scheduled on your calendar that...
Oh, immediately.
Okay.
Unless I saw that there was no other way, which usually that's kind of what happens. But for the most part, I'm like, you kind of know, you should know when I can take meetings, when I cannot take meetings. And I've been very clear about how I protect my calendar. Because if I can't protect my calendar, I'm literally leaving the office door open to anybody to come through. And that means that all the promises that I've made to my clients, I can't keep.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, you can't deliver on what you have said yes to.
So when I explain it in that way, people are like, oh, it's not that she's saying no and she doesn't want me to come see her or whatever.
She's just committed to other things that she needs to keep her promise on. Yeah.
Yes. And like I love grabbing lunch with friends, and like sometimes they're business owners, sometimes they're just friends. And so I kind of keep those on 1 or 2 days so that I know like, oh, this is my time to grab lunch with a friend. That's not always a client meeting, right? And then I also color code my calendar. So I know how much time I'm spending in sales calls, how much I'm spending in business development, how much I'm spending with current clients, how much I'm spending like meeting wise, so I can see the percentage of my week and my month. Yeah.
Yeah, it just gives you more control over your life, honestly. Because if you think about the chaos of not having control over your calendar, that means like you have a very chaotic life, in my opinion. Like I have a decent amount of control over my calendar, I feel like, but that would help so much more. So much more. Yeah. And the business. Like I could see the business really flourishing if everyone had those boundaries for themselves.
It's not even, this is my boundary.
Exactly.
And it's more of like, okay, Haley, when can you work well? Nick, when can you work well? Abby, when do you want head down time? And that's all it is. It's not even saying I need this and everybody has to adjust to my week, because that's kind of hard. And also people work differently. Like if you told me, okay, head down time is 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. I'd be like, Kelsey, you are going to get the worst work from Naoma at that time. Like you will.
Yeah. But if I'm saying this is my best time, then it's really kind of you to honor that.
Yeah.
And like not
give
reach
you
out
a
to
7 a.m. meeting.
Exactly. Or be blowing up my phone at 7 a.m.
Yes.
On a Monday, when you know that I love Mondays and I'm going to do my best work on a Monday morning. Like,
yeah, I will also say, one thing that I am pretty like, that is very important to me is I used to not give my number out to clients. Now I do, because I have good clients, but I used to not. And a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't even realize I didn't have your number. And I'm like, yeah, that was kind of intentional for a long time. But my team knows that like, don't text me unless you're texting me as a friend. But if you're texting me as business, that needs to be in Slack.
Yeah. Yeah. That is something I did this week where I got a text from or I got a call from someone when I was at a client meeting out of town, and I immediately responded. I ignored it because I was like, first off, she knows I'm out here, obviously. I was like, work or personal question mark. And like, are you okay? Like, are you safe?
Yeah.
And it was like, personal, just call me when you can. And it's like, oh, okay. Much quicker, like faster communication. But yeah, don't text me unless you're texting me personally.
Yeah.
I don't need work stuff coming in as I'm in the, I mean, I had a text come in from someone this morning, like about something going wrong, and I'm dropping my daughter off at school, and I'm like, I don't want to look at this right now. I don't want this popping up on my phone right now.
Yeah. One thing that I have to reiterate with my team a lot is what we do is not an emergency. Like, we are not saving lives. We are not curing cancer. I am not performing surgeries. I am not feeding the homeless. Like, it's a file. We can all just chill for a second. It's a file. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, we do have a little bit more urgent
You have
things
a little bit more
we are
urgent.
putting things out there on behalf of another brand. And so,
Yeah.
but very rarely is it urgent because something went up that shouldn't have gone up. Like that almost never happens anymore. And so there's enough quality control in the process, I feel like, but I say that knock on wood. But no, I mean, it really is. And that's what I told them. I was like, you don't need to be spending all your time in Slack or in ClickUp every single day. Like, you need to check it in the morning and the evening. And I try to spend an hour in ClickUp at the end of every day so that they are set up for success, like going into the next day. Because I know if I have an early morning meeting, like I'm not going to be in there immediately, or I'm doing my head downtime. I'm working on strategy in the morning. I'm not going to get into ClickUp in the morning.
I'm not going to open ClickUp first thing in the morning.
It might be noon before it gets open.
So I will say that has been the biggest help for me, is saying, okay, I control my time. These apps don't control my time.
That's right. Yeah.
So if I wake up and I choose to check my email, that's me allowing that to happen.
It is insane how much of a habit it is, though, to pick up your phone and like click on Instagram or Slack or Gmail. I had to delete all of the apps off my phone now.
Yeah.
I need to like pick up a flip phone on the weekends so that and when I get off work at 5, I'm like, okay, this is now my flip phone for emergencies, because I cannot be trusted with this device because my brain has programmed me to it. I'm addicted to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. So yes, I'm not saying I do this great all the time, but when I have woken up and I don't check my email the first thing.
Touching my mic
Now,
again.
what I do is I do check LinkedIn, but it's because I love writing, and writing in the morning is my best time. And so, which is interesting.
Surprising.
This is going to sound really weird, but most of my best LinkedIn content that I post, I'm writing from my bed as soon as I wake up.
Wow.
Because my brain is like ready, like to just write.
That's crazy. I leave my phone downstairs. I sleep upstairs and my phone's on airplane mode, and I'm awake for at least an hour and a half before I even touch my phone in the mornings.
Good. That's good. I should be doing that. I don't.
It's
but
hard.
I write.
I see it though, and I'm watching it and I'm like, there you are. I wonder what's on there. I wonder if anyone texted me after 8:30 last night because I went to sleep so early. Like, yeah. No, but that's good. I mean, you know that about yourself, and I know that I'm going to have a really good day. Like today, I didn't touch my phone until 6:30, and I woke up at 5 and made my coffee, got cozy on my couch, opened my journal, read, spent time thinking, just gave myself free space to just think and not have something stimulating, and then went and worked out, and then woke up Esther. Like, ideal morning. And I've had so much energy today. I've not been on edge with anyone. I'm like, oh, I'm actually doing all right.
Yeah. Well, we had the flip side today then, because usually I'm the one that's like chill. And I came in hot.
Urgent. But I did get an email in the middle of a strategy session today, and they asked for a call. Like my strategy session, I think, was from 11 to 2, and they asked for a call, like emailed at 11:30, and they wanted the call at like 1. And I was like,
no,
I didn't even see it. I mean, I was like pulling in here and decided to open Gmail, but I mean, Slack, ClickUp. I mean, and that will keep me away from those apps quicker than anything is when I start seeing all the notifications when I'm doing a heavy meeting day.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I have to schedule out like an hour at the end of my day to like get to all of this, but I cannot get to it right now. But sometimes the knowing it's there is just like this anxiety that lingers. And I do feel like I frustrate my team, and I also get frustrated by them in ClickUp because it's like, well, this task was due yesterday, but it's overdue now. And now I don't have content to review because this wasn't done.
Yeah.
And so I do think that this perfect week exercise could really help us.
Well, but I think you could say, hey, I do my best revision time Thursday morning. And that still gives Abby and Cora like the whole day Thursday to like then be able to schedule it all on Friday, whatever.
Right.
But then that means like everybody else knows like Kelsey needs to have it in her ClickUp by Thursday morning. Even if the due date's at Tuesday, whatever. Thursday morning is when she's sitting down and reviewing all content. Then everybody knows, rather than this constant checking, making, which is exhausting, and you're switching gears so much, rather than if you were just like making a whole day, editing a whole day, review day, edits to these.
Is that like there's a part of me that loves the switching gears and there's a part of me that hates it.
It's because you're crazy.
Is it the ADHD?
Yeah.
It would have to
crazy.
Be.
Yeah.
Because there is a part of me that like does not want to sit there and if you told me that I had a whole 6 hours of approvals and
no.
ClickUp for a Wednesday,
But what you could do is you could say, hey, Wednesday and Thursday morning, I have 2 hours of review stuff and I have, 2 clients. So you can get in that headspace. So you can wake up and you can be like, client number 1 hat on. Now let me look at everything.
Yeah.
Take that really off. Client number 2 hat on. Let me look at everything. Because then I think you would actually be producing better stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
That you would love. And it would still gratify you in the... You have a bug right there.
I could feel it. It was on your skirt.
Oh, great.
Was it a mosquito?
Yeah.
Dang it. Someone have a bite?
Probably.
Darn it. Oklahoma.
But that will probably actually help your team. And your team can also then, because I'm thinking...
This is like a business coaching session. That's
know.
What this episode is. I hope it might not even be helpful to anyone.
I know. I'm sure everybody's like, wait a minute. How am I restructuring my whole week now? Because all it is dissecting the big things that you have to do and figuring out when can I do this the best that I possibly can? And when can my team do that part of their thing at the best time? So I do think that the switching gears, that was hindering us. So this is why we did the perfect week, is because I was like, I am giving only half great feedback because I'm checking things between meetings and going that I'm not really sitting and looking at it. Or I'm like, oh, that looks good. Let's send it. Rather than sitting and saying, okay, let me review all this client stuff and see how it works together. Does this go back to the strategy? Great. Yes. Send on. No, we need to tweak this. Whatever.
It's great. We're going to do it.
Okay.
I'll let you guys know how it goes.
Anyway, do your perfect week. It'll help you a lot, especially as you get ready for 2026.
Yes. And I want to note that I only touched the mic 3 times on this episode.
And got a bug bite.
Bye.
And that's a wrap on this episode of We Know Marketing, We Promise. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your business bestie. Want more? Follow us for updates, behind the scenes, and plenty of marketing gems.